How you doing, everyone? Welcome to Command Center Postgame Live. Santana Moss, Michael Jenkins. That was dicey there at the end, Santana.
Preseason football,
man. It's preseason football. 17-15. Washington wins it, and we stayed up late. We had a rain delay for more than an hour, but I got to tell you, this was worth staying up for because we saw a lot of problems from this team tonight.
You saw a lot going on. I think one of the things that that jumped off the page from the start is just seeing our defense kind of not be the defense we want to see, but at the same time, we talk about bending and not breaking. They did that twice. They let the team drive on them. It was a couple of guys out of gaps here and there, but they found a way to get off the field when it counted. So it's preseason. They get a chance to play like that, put that stuff on film, come back to the drawing board, watch themselves, and then go out there and build from that. So I can't be mad at those guys.
And doesn't it take a while in the preseason, offensively, defensively? It takes a while to sort of find your footing, get used to the speed of the game, playing the game again.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that you look at, just knowing what our defense is coming into this season with, all the hype now, top 5 defense, you want to see them have the best outing every time. You want to see those guys come out and be dominant. And you saw bits of that. You saw flashes. You saw Chase Young getting after the quarterback. Basically had him in his hands twice. He got a little stinger, so that's probably one of the reasons why he didn't come up with the tackle. But you saw bits and pieces of these guys flashing and being the defense they wanted. Now, we also got to account for that hour delay, that hour plus long delay. Who knows? That could have had some of those guys cold or whatever. But like you said, when you have those rankings and have those ratings of being one of the top defense in the league, you got to come out and stretch your stuff. And like I said before, they bent, they didn't break, they got off the field, and they didn't give no points up.
It really was an entertaining game, so let's show you what happened in Cleveland after we waited out that rain and we finally got on the field. First quarter, on a 3rd and 6, look at Sam Howell rolling out, using those legs, gets the first down and showing off that versatility that he has been known for. And then later, on a 3rd and 30, little outlet pass to Antonio Gibson, and Howell started off slow, but then starting to warm up. But it's that Commanders D on a 4th and goal. Montez Sweat. Oh, first it's what? Emmanuel Forbes throwing down the running back, and then on a 4th and goal, look at Montez come in here after they drove down the field and just stonewalling the Browns. So they get nothing. In the second quarter, the Commanders down 2-0 after a safety. Little play action. Howell down. Look at this catch. Jahan Dotson. Unbelievable. With a wet football, fingertip grab, touchdown. It's 7-2 Washington. A 26-yard grab from Dotson. He said if you got a safety on him, that is a problem for the safety. It is, and it certainly was there. Now, once Howell leaves, Jacoby Brissett comes in. And look at the perfect pass here to Bryson Pringle right down the sideline.
Right there.
Yeah, later in the first half, after that pass, Brissett decides, you know what, I'll just take it myself here. 12 yards and a touchdown. So the Commanders go on top 14-2. We talked about that Commanders defense. You saw Sweat stonewall the Browns. More Commanders D, and this time they're showing off their depth. How about James Smith-Williams? Bringing down Joshua Dobbs on a 3rd and 16. So that's some of the depth that we wanted to see, these younger guys stepping up. And then Dorian Thompson-Robinson comes in out of UCLA for the Browns, and he had a really nice game. Completion there, and then a touchdown late in the 3rd to David Bell to make it 17-9 Washington. Did I mention depth on that Washington D? How about Percy Butler coming up with the first interception of the night, grabbing that out of midair. So again, Washington with a crucial stop. Now, we're going to move ahead after this interception to the 4th quarter. Cleveland with another chance. They cough up the football. John Ridgeway.
Oh, my God.
Right, that's your guy. Finds a way to get to the football and gets the recovery. But the Browns continue to make it interesting. We thought this game was over late. It was not. In fact, we even got some special teams action here. Woo!
Cashmere Allen.
Look at Cash. We were talking about him earlier. He's got such speed. He's not a big guy.
Not a big guy.
But, man, when he turns on those jets, he can absolutely get it done. He does it there. He needed that one. And then, this is what I'm talking about. Under 2 minutes to play, Kellen Mond. Remember him out of Texas A&M, went to the Vikings for a while? Throws a touchdown pass to Mike Hartley Jr.
Hurricane.
Woo! They miss the 2-point conversion, and the Commanders win at 17-15. Ron Rivera speaking live now in Cleveland. Let us take you there.
So, I'm glad EB wanted to keep him out there, and again, we went with it.
How'd you feel that starting the line did?
I thought they did some good things. A couple things that got it a little bit out of hand. We just got to be a little bit better and got to be careful and be alert to the penalties. I can't wait to see the tape and really just see how, as we break it down, exactly what we can do and what we can get better.
Why did you decide to give the starting defense just one drive?
Because it was a long one, and they went 4 and out at the right time. So I figured, you know what, let's go from there. And quite honestly, it was Jack's suggestion, and I agreed with Jack.
What do you take from that drive? Was it, the yards they give up to that goal line stand, or is it the goal line stand that you really focus on?
No, the thing that needed to be corrected was on 2 of the long runs on the outside to the right side of our defense. The biggest problem more than anything else, we played behind the ball. We didn't get a good edge set, and when we decided to run through, we ran behind and not in front. Bad decisions on the guys that were supposed to fit those creases.
With limited snaps, were you able to see much from Chase Young on what he was able to do?
Yeah, I mean, again, we want to bring him back gradually. We want to make sure we're smart with him and just be careful.
Did he have any sort of injury coming off after that?
He had a little bit of a stinger, and so when he came to the sidelines, we just said, you know what? We saw a real good start. Let's just be really careful with him, and the docs were fine with that. So we just pulled him out and left him out.
With Phil and everyone else, did you come out of the game healthy?
For the most part, it looks like it. We had a couple of guys bump each other, but they both got cleared at the very end and went back into play. But for the most part, we'll see tomorrow morning when everybody shows up.
No Logan, the younger tight ends got some more reps. How did you think Cole Turner looked?
I thought Cole did a really nice job. Cole showed his savviness as a route runner, made a couple of big plays for us when we needed to have them made. He showed up. He really did. And, I thought John Bates had a pretty good day. Even though it was a penalty, I would like to see him catch that. I thought it was a really nice thrown ball. Nicely thrown ball that should have been caught. But, again, for the most part, I thought the young guys did a nice job.
This is also EB's first game, along with you guys. How do you think the whole operation was?
I thought the operation was outstanding. I love the rhythm they got into, and I thought that his play calling rhythm was really good. I love his positivity when he's talking to the quarterback. He called a play, and he told him, hey, this should work. Let's go get it now. Let's go. I just love the way he does that, and it instills confidence in our guys when they're calling plays.
Were there plays or sequences where that rhythm stood out to you?
Well, I thought the very first one coming out. I mean, we start marching down there, and we have a chance for a big throw, and unfortunately, like I said, we missed it. We dropped the ball, but there was also a penalty, and then that kind of, now you're at 2nd and 20. I mean, 1st and 20. That puts you off kilter. So that's. But I thought he handled his rhythm really well. I thought they mixed it nicely. He found a little something with the run game, so we went back to the run a couple of times repeatedly. And then came back up with a real nice play action that I thought really kind of offset a couple things for us that got them off balance.
And Jahan's touchdown?
Oh, just it was a pretty well thrown ball, but because Jahan's so athletic in his ability just to make that kind of catch and then reverse his field, that was pretty sharp.
What was your message to the team in there? Did you give out any game balls?
The message for the most part to the guys was, hey, more so than anything else is, there's a lot to learn from. I mean, we made some mistakes. We did some really good things, but when we get a chance to watch the film, we're going to be honest with ourselves and talk about things that we got to get corrected, things that we can be better at. And then again, praise them for the good play that they had, for some of the good plays they had.
We saw the new owners out there. They moved down to the first row.
Yes.
Did you see them during the game, and did they have a chance to talk to players?
No, I had seen that they were on the field after the game. We did hand Mr. Harris a game ball. That was a preseason game. We told him that, a win's a win, and you can always keep this one. So we gave it to him, and the guys were pretty fired up and looking for the opportunity to give them one for real.
Take 2 more. You good? All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right, cool. Thank you, guys.
Well, do not go anywhere because your favorite players still are coming to the podium, and we're going to bring it to you here on Command Center Postgame Live. We are back in 2 minutes. Stay right there.
Have fun, sis.
Can't stop adding stuff to your cart? Get the Bank of America customized cash rewards card. Choose the online shopping category and earn 3% cash back.
In-play betting, because a lot can happen in 4 quarters. You can wager on the spread, game props, player props, totals, and the money line. Bet Bet365 is the world's favorite sports book for many reasons, and play betting is just one of them.
Are you on your way?
Yep, coming.
And Mom and Dad?
Don't worry, they'll be there.
Happy anniversary!
Go beyond the expected with the #1 most dependable mass market brand 3 years in a row by J.D. Power. Kia, movement that inspires.
One bag.
The winter play was really coming together. Until disaster struck. Tensions were high. Luckily, replacement costumes were shipped with FedEx, which means Mr. Harvey could picture the perfect night. We're ready for the holidays, so you're ready for what's next.
Dad, we're gonna be late.
Can't stop adding stuff to your cart? Get the Bank of America customized cash rewards card. Choose the online shopping category and earn 3% cash back.
Welcome back to Command Center Post Game Live, and the Commanders showcasing a strong amount of defensive depth in this one, Santana Moss. I'm Jinx Santana Moss here after a Commanders 17-15 victory. We were talking early on in this game about how the Browns were going right back down the field, but then they stepped up. Even Chase Young had a couple moments where he could have gotten a sack or two. That's part of getting in the rhythm.
Yeah, that's one of the things about our defense, man, and it's something that I think a couple of years ago we talked about these guys just gap control, you know what I mean, making sure that they stay in their lanes. You saw a bit of that, tonight with some of the older guys, which you don't want to see. Right. But then you also saw it from the other groups too, the second and the third group. But that's something, like I said before, last year they corrected a lot of that last year. So I'm pretty sure they're going to do the same thing here. But you saw guys flying around. That's what you want to see. You want to see guys making plays. Holmes came up and made a lot of plays. Butler made a lot of plays in the secondary. That secondary looked phenomenal. Those first and two, that first and second group, those guys looked phenomenal. But remember I was telling you, one of the things about these preseason games is when everything's over for those first two groups, those threes, baby, you got to hold on. And they almost lay the egg, at the end. But that's how it is in the preseason. So these guys are trying to make the team as well. A lot of those guys out there playing with their head spinning or their head cut off, trying to do the best they can. Some of them just coming to the team. Some of those guys are just thrown into the fire. So people just trying to make the squad. But it was a great start. It was a great start for the preseason. They got a lot of stuff they can watch on tape.
Let's send it back out to Cleveland now, where Jacoby Brissett is at the podium for the Commanders, again, live in Cleveland.
It was good. Hearing a lot of the fans cheer and stuff, that was awesome. Obviously didn't expect that, but, felt good about everything, coming in and team finding a way to get a win in the first preseason game, going against another team. So I felt like we did a lot of good things, but obviously a lot of things to clean up, and I'm sure we're going to do that when we get back.
What do you take from a preseason game personally?
Operation, getting in and out of huddle, going against another defense and running your plays and trying to figure out, where to put your eyes at on a consistent basis and things like that. So I think that's the main thing with preseason.
How good did it feel to you to just be able to get in there right away, lead the drive, and run for the finish?
Oh, it felt good. I thought we did a lot of good things on that drive. Felt really good about our plan going into the game when I was going in, and guys did a good job of executing.
What was it like embracing and Joe pregame and all your former teammates?
Oh, it was awesome. I got a lot of good friends on that side. Even though I was there for a year, I feel like I made a lot of relationships that'll last a long time. And getting to see a lot of those guys and kind of embrace each other. It kind of brought it back a little bit.
There's even some like a message on the scoreboard, welcome back.
Yeah. No, I did, and I thought that was super cool. Like I said, I didn't expect any of that, and the fact that they did was super awesome. I really enjoyed my time here. A lot of the people, the players, coaches, the staff there have a lot of respect and love for that organization, and I thought that was really fun, really nice of them to do.
Going back to the operation, how was it working with EB?
Oh, it was good. I thought he did a very good job. He was clear. It was no hiccups. We did a good job of coming to the sideline and communicating with our group, with him and Tavita, the other quarterbacks, and I thought we was on a good roll, and I thought it went smooth.
Two more. Obviously, pretty much better than anyone the situation last year with you and Deshaun, and how there was kind of the transfer and the passing of the torch and everything we talked about before last year. But what are you noticing from him now? Are you keeping track at all? And just kind of how did he look tonight? And is there just something kind of different about?
Yeah, we talk here and there. Obviously, we obviously talk football a lot, and then I talk to a lot of guys on the team as well, and they're excited about how he looks compared to last year. Obviously coming out here watching him, I thought he looked really good compared to last preseason game. He looked very smooth, no hiccups and stuff like that. So I thought he did a good job.
Last one.
What do you think it is about the whole situation last year that allowed you to kind of connect with everyone the way you did? I mean, you're a huge fan favorite. Like you said, it was a brief time.
Yeah.
You could kind of feel that impact.
Man, I just think it's hard to explain. Just being the person that I am, day in and day out. No matter the circumstances, doing the things that got me to where I am today. Just holding true to what I believe is the right thing to do. And going out there and putting my best foot forward. I think people can, relate to that. And like I said, man, I have the utmost love and respect for the fan base, the organization, the players, and I was definitely with gratitude when I saw that happen.
All right, thanks, Jacoby.
Yeah, thank you. Good seeing you.
Welcome back in studio, Command Center Postgame Live. Michael Jenkins, Santana Moss. So we'll talk about Jacoby in a second, but everyone wants to talk about Sam Howell. Started off a little bit slow, but once he got into a rhythm, Tana, he looked really good.
Sam I am.
Yeah.
He looked good. I mean, honestly, man, Sam showed some of the things that tonight he showed some of the same things he showed last preseason when he played last year's preseason in that game against the Cowboys. He got in trouble a little bit with his feet. We know he can do that well. That's something that Fred Smoot raved about, saying that he reminded him of Tony Romo with that.
Yeah.
He's a guy that can escape, and he would fool you because he's a little quicker than what he looks. But what stood out to me about Sam is just seeing how accurate he was. He was precise. Even the ball that Dawson had to turn around for and juggle a little bit, still brought it down. Sam has been on point a couple of times. I'm pretty sure he's going to watch film and see that he was a little deeper than he should have been, but he was still getting the ball downfield. So that shows you how strong his arm. That's one of the things that we talked about last year with our quarterback. Having our guy Heineke in there.
Yeah.
Shows some of the similarities what Sam has when it comes to escapability, but just didn't have that strength behind his arm. But what he had, he was 9 for 12, 77 yards and a TD, 140-something QBR. I mean, great start. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of things he see on film that he want to correct, but it's a great outing for him tonight.
So you mentioned that Dotson touchdown, which we're seeing right now, 26-yard touchdown pass. Dotson, I don't know how he brought that in. But when you're a receiver, and these guys are relatively new to one another, how long does it take to really develop that chemistry?
Well, you never know. I mean, I remember being here with Mark Brunell, and I remember my first couple of years with Vinny Testaverde. Those guys were thrown into the game because of the starter quarterback being injured, and didn't have much rest with both of those guys. But being veterans, they just know how to get the ball to the open guy. So Sam is one of those guys. He's a younger guy, and he has a bunch of guys around him. Some of those guys older, which is Terry and maybe Pringle. Those guys are a little more seasoned when it comes to playing in this league. But a lot of those other guys are young, so he has that time in the off season and in practice. It's all about repetition. The more reps you out there, the more times you get a chance to throw the ball to each other. The more times you stay out to practice and catch passes with them. That's how you get familiar. That's some of the same things we did with RG3 and Kirk Cousins. These guys was rookies, and they played that first year, and we just stayed out to practice with them, kept catching balls, and make sure that at least they know where we was going to be at, so come game time, it's like second nature.
So let's go to the flip side now.
Yeah.
We know about his potential. What are some of the things when you look at Sam Howell, you say, okay, this is something he's got to work on here?
I think pocket presence. Okay. I think, some of the times, quarterbacks who can escape, who has feet or legs, they like to be a little too deep. So you saw a couple of times when Brissett, he was back there and he slid up into that pocket and he found those lanes. You're going to have a lot of those opportunities. That's something that Sam will look on film. Coach is going to point that out. Say, look, if you'd have slid in here, maybe you'd have saw something cleaner instead of backing out of there getting too deep. And then now you have to force that ball downfield, use your arm, which he has a big enough arm that he can do. He can make those passes. But I think those are little things right now. I'm pretty sure it's going to be some more things showed up when it's time to throw the ball on time. You know, I probably saw 1 or 2 plays where he could have got the ball out of his hand right now, but he held on to it too long. I think he took a sack one time for that too. So that's stuff that young quarterbacks learn every day. And it's not going to be something that we see that's drastically changed next week. It's going to take some time. It's going to work over time. But when he gets it, man, all the other stuff he has going for him right now, when he put it all together, man, he should be a great quarterback.
You know how important it is in the NFL to have 2 good quarterbacks because you never know. And Jacoby Brissett looked very, very good tonight. That's a nice, polished veteran as your QB2.
Yeah, I mean, when you just listen to him talk, man, very intelligent, very intelligent. I mean, he's just a smart guy. And when you watched him play, the game was very slow. You can see that everything was just slowed down around him. Like, he was basically out there taking his time because he felt like he could. And he was trusting the guys around him to block and just putting the ball in there. At one point in time, I thought he was out the game. And I was just seeing dimes, but I wasn't paying attention to who was throwing the ball. And then y'all was like, okay, form coming in now. I was like, oh, so he wasn't in the game. That was still Brissett. So that just goes to show you this guy is a great backup. He's the guy, if you go back and watch the tape, during the preseason, during the offseason, I was the first guy that said, when they asked me about quarterbacks, I said, I won't mind having Brissett here. And I don't know, the football gods brought him down to me, man. So, I'm glad to say that I wanted you, Brissett.
And we forget these guys are also learning a new offense with EB's offensive system, which he's putting in place. So we saw more of a quicker pace than we saw last season.
The energy is there. I mean, it's a drastic change. And I think when you watch them practice, that translates to the field, to the playing field. And when these guys, Brissett said it, getting in and out of the huddle, that means everything. I tell my kid, I tell my son, alignment and assignment, that's the first thing you want to do. And people might think it's just like when you're playing on this level, that should be easy. No, a lot of guys have problems with that, especially when you learn a new offense. Because you break that huddle and you're thinking like, okay, you heard that play and you're not sure because you heard something before that's similar that might make you line up somewhere different. So you saw those guys getting to the ball fast, so that's a great sign that these guys have a grip of the offense. And all that's left to do then is just go out there and make plays, and you saw him make a lot of plays, ton of plays.
Waiting on Sam Howell to speak live in Cleveland. We'll take you there as soon as he does. One thing that has to be encouraging, too, especially with a young quarterback, is he has a lot. Sam Howell has a lot of weapons on this offense.
That's one of the things I've been raving about. I say, we sit here and talk about quarterbacks, why we didn't address it a little better, bring in somebody with a little more experience other than Brissett. And I'm like, hey, it's all across this league, you're bringing in quarterbacks, whether they're first round, second round, third round. You have to give these guys a chance to see their true potential. You can't just keep piling on quarterbacks and not giving the guys that's here an opportunity. But when you have the core that he has, the backfield, the guys on the outside, the tight ends, you have so many playmakers around. As long as you protect him, he can throw the ball all over the field. He has the guys, and we can run the ball with the guys in the backfield behind him. So I'm happy with who he has around him. That shows you that we don't have to rely on his shoulders all the time.
One guy I want to throw out there, this name, De'Ami Brown, made a nice catch tonight, and you can see that potential is right there.
The confidence there, it's clicking. Third year is always the charm. I remember playing this game, and I remember I got injured my first year, so my first year was really my second year all over again. But that third year, things was just like, I was light years ahead of everything. I didn't think as much, and De'Ami is one of those guys you can honestly see him on the practice field, how many plays he's making. That tells you he's not thinking. And you got to think about it. This is a new offense. So for him to be out there making those plays now, and he's not thinking, he's not having those mistakes or those hiccups, everything is slowed down for him. It's his third year. He knows it's time to shine because they don't give you too many more opportunities. After that first contract is over, they'll ship you somewhere. So he knows he's at a great situation. He has his quarterback from college with a bunch of talent around him. He can be that third, fourth guy. It don't matter what slot you in. Just as long as you can go out there and make plays, they're going to find you.
And one thing that Sam does, which is sort of a sneaky trait about him, is he's pretty elusive. Now, nobody's going to mistake him for Lamar Jackson, but he's sneaky fast for a QB.
Yeah, he has legs, man. I mean, he did a great job in the preseason last year, and everybody was like, oh, he can't keep running. No, this league is designed for these guys to do that now. Now, the old days where you had the Peyton Mannings and the Tom Brady's and the Drew Bledsoes and all those guys were pocket passers. They did what they did best. This new generation, all these guys can run. All these guys have the ability to escape the pocket. So that's what these teams are going after now. They're going after guys like Sam Howell that can play in the pocket, and when things break down, they can get enough yards for you to move the chains.
How much will it help him potentially when this O-line comes together? Because we always focus on the glamour positions, but those hogs right there in the trenches, once those guys play better, that's obviously going to help him in the pocket.
I think what's going to help him more than anything is just the run game.
Yeah.
When the run game gets on point and they're forcing, not even forcing, but they're just taking their time and giving those guys in the back, their due, that's going to slow things down and allow him to now pick his times when he can, pick his guys who he want to throw to on the outside and his opportunities to run with the ball. That's something that you see from the Giants. When you have a guy like Daniel Jones and you have that guy in the backfield, it makes things easy for the quarterback.
We've got Sam Howell live at the podium in Cleveland. Let's take it there now.
It was good to get out here in a new system. I thought the communication was good. He did a really good job, and there was a lot of things that I was proud of tonight.
Generally, what was your comfort level? Just the system and everything?
Yeah, I felt good. I knew the plays we were going to call. We kind of keep it simple in the preseason, and I felt really good about the plays we were going to call, and I felt like I did a pretty good job from an execution standpoint. So I went into the game with a lot of confidence, and I think my comfortability showed tonight.
What do you feel like you made the biggest strides from the end of last year to now?
Yeah, I think the main thing is, it's a new system, and so you got to kind of change your mindset from a decision-making standpoint into learning new concepts and learning how to tie your feet to those concepts and trying to make good decisions in practice and then turn it over into the games. And I think I've come a long way just from my knowledge of football and understanding what we're trying to do on offense and what the defense is trying to do to stop us. So I would just say mentally for sure.
Were there moments or plays where you felt that mental growth, advancement?
Yeah, I think there was some times where I could tell a team was pressuring one way and I could slide the protection to those blitzes. Obviously, we had the one sack. I should have got the ball out on that one. But there was definitely times where I could just see what they were in. Obviously, it's more simple in the preseason, so I'm sure it'll get harder as we move forward.
Were you hot on that play?
Which one?
On the sack.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at it. I think I ended up being hot to the field. The hot guy ended up not getting to me, though, but I think I would have been hot on that one. Yeah, for sure.
Can you walk us through the two-play sequence where you hit Cole Turner for that 13-yard pass and then you got Jahan touchdown?
Yeah, so it was fourth down, so I knew kind of if the play we called, if it wasn't there, I knew I had to try to go get it with my feet. And so the defense did a good job covering the concept we had, and so I just tried to get out of the pocket and make something happen, and Cole did a really good job of just getting open. And we practiced the scramble drill a lot in practice. If you guys are out there, you probably see that. We scramble a lot, and Cole did a good job. And then on the touchdown, Jahan just ran a great route. We knew we were going to get man coverage, and we knew that's a route that Jahan's really good at, and he killed him and made my job easy.
Could you feel you guys in practice kind of being backed up in that situational crisis when you were in the second drive?
Yeah, we definitely practice those situations, and we know those situations are going to come up in games. Obviously, we would have liked that outcome to be a lot better, but there's definitely some stuff that we can try to learn on. But we have practiced that situation. We just didn't do a good job of executing.
How was the general operation with DB?
Yeah, it was good. I thought he did a good job of communicating with us and getting the play calls in early enough to us. And I thought it was clean all night long, not only for me but for Jacoby and Jake as well. We had no misunderstandings or anything like that, no play calls that got jacked up, so he did a great job.
Was it different having your OC be on the sideline than Rivera?
Not really, just because last year with Scott, I really only got one game playing with him up top, and in college, my OC was on the sideline, so it's pretty much what I'm used to.
All good.
Cool. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Sam.
If you want more from this game, we have got it for you. Do not go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to tell you who will be the toast of the town in D.C. This is Command Center Postgame Live. We'll be back in just 2 minutes.
You're going to like this story because it's about you. You who forgot to charge your phone last night. You who sprints to the boarding line so your bag will fit. You with him. Until one day you boarded a United plane that was designed for, well, you. And your phone got charged, your bag fit, so did everyone else's, but this story isn't about them. Your toddler didn't tantrum, and you got to fly happily ever after. The end.
Hey, it's me, food. I'm so much more than just what we eat. I'm hand-cut, fresh and frosted. I love it. Aw, I love you too. See, life is always something new. All messy, frantic, and amazing. And from where I sit, you look delicious. That's why every day is worth celebrating. If you can. Stay fresh. Sincerely, food. Sincerely, Safeway.
Hey, big man. Oh, hey. Dave told me you got some kind of great system for betting that really works.
It's true.
What is it? Is it like home dogs? No. It's bird mascots.
No, I just use FanDuel's responsible gaming tools like time and spending limits to manage my play.
That's the system.
Hasn't failed me yet.
Cool. You know what, man? I'm just gonna keep this between you and me.
It's not a secret, Bob.
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours. It's more fun that way.
The design is stunning. The power, breathtaking. Turbocharged to chase down dreams. With an instant top prize of $50,000. And a second chance top prize of $150,000. More than enough to buy a real Corvette. The new 2023 Corvette Cash Scratch-Off from the Maryland Lottery. Take it for a ride.
Welcome back to Command Center Postgame Live. Michael Jenkins, Santana Moss. A 17-15 victory for the Washington Commanders tonight. And let's take you back to Cleveland and show you what you might have missed in this game. Early on, probably the play of the game, Jahan Dotson. Look at that. The fingertip catch and touchdown. A 26-yard score for Washington. Later, Jacoby Brissett in the game went downfield to Bryson Pringle. Beautiful pass on a 2nd and 3. Later, Brissett again stepping up in the pocket. Can't find anyone. Will take it himself for the touchdown. And Washington up 14-2. Later, how about some defense from the Commanders? Percy Butler with the INT, bringing it all the way back. He's the guy that's been impressive. Lots of depth in the secondary defensive line in this one. And then how about another turnover here? Look at John Ridgeway. Ball on the ground, and Ridgeway is there to recover the fumble. So, again, like we saw numerous times in this game, that Commanders defense stepping up, but the Browns just would not go away. In the fourth, under 2 minutes to play, Kellen Mond, a strike across the middle for the touchdown. The Browns have a chance to tie this up with a 2-point conversion. And thankfully, they flush Mond out of the pocket, and it is incomplete. The Commanders get it done in a nail-biter in the preseason, 17-15. Ron Rivera and the boys coming up with the win in Cleveland.
It's time to recognize the Toast of the Town, presented by La Chemadura Champagne and Branson Cognac, the official champagne and cognac of the Washington Commanders.
Oh, you know, it's got to be Jahan Dotson. He was coming through tonight. Look at this. Just a couple of catches, but that's all that mattered because he had that incredible touchdown for 26 yards from Sam Howell, 30 yards total, an average of 15 yards per. And Santana, you know, he doesn't have to play an entire game to make an impact. That's how good he was this year.
Yeah, we could have easily gave it to Sam because he played phenomenal, and everyone came to see Sam how he's going to do as the new QB1. But I think Dotson deserves it just getting things started. You know, we understood how those first two series, you know, ended in that third series, which was a lot of Sam, you know, going out there and driving, you know, having that 80-yard drive. But he capped it off with that 30-yard touchdown to Dotson. So that's why I would give Dotson, he's the toast of the town, man, because he got the band started tonight, and everything, you know, fell together from there.
Yeah, if you're drinking a cognac right now, you're probably talking about Jahan Dotson and how he played. Now, he's the obvious known commodity, right? Who's some other star players in this game that stood out to you?
I think when you look at the defensive side, you know, you saw flashes, like I said, from Chase. You know, we wanted to see Chase back. You know, a guy that we're going to have to be talking about, too, Montez Sweat. You know, I mean, those guys like that, man, they just showed you, and that's what something that I was looking forward to seeing. I wanted to see the ones look like ones. You know, like I said, the defense been a little too much. I would like to see those guys, you know, go 3 and out a couple of times and make the team sweat a little more than what they did. But they was right there. We could have had a couple of sacks. And, you know, I think the Browns had about 80-something yards in the first half, and it was mainly off of just scrambles. But when talking about standing out from the offensive side, Dotson, Sam Howell, the backs looked good. I mean, even though they didn't have much to run, they still blocked, you know, protected well. But defensively, man, you saw all those guys flash, and I'm sure, you know, coach is going to harp on those guys having those missed tackles because that's something that we don't want to start the season doing, but it's only the preseason.
Don't want to ignore the linebackers, but defensively, it's defensive line, secondary, defensive line, secondary. There were so many guys making plays.
Jamin Davis flew around. You know, Jamin Davis, he was the first play. I'm like, why is Jamin always on the slot receiver? But I guess that's the way things are designed. And he comes up with tackles. He can run sideline to sideline. That's why he's so dynamic for our defense because his running ability. He can run down the sideline to sideline. He can chase those little small guys down. So, you know, we haven't talked a lot about them, but I'm pretty sure the linebackers going to get their due.
Well, do not go anywhere because when we come back, we're going to give our final say on this game. And we're going to talk about what we expect next when joint practices begin with the Baltimore Ravens. Also, don't forget, if you want to check out the home opener, now is the time to do it. The season kicks off at FedEx Field. Get the stadium rocking. It is the team's opener against the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday, September 10th at 1 o'clock. Get your tickets now at commanders.com/tickets. We're coming back.
Pizza, better with Pepsi. SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception? First down? Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Summer won't last forever, but during Toyota's national sales event, you can make memories that will.
Come on. There you go.
Whoa.
Where's my mom? Just be in the moment.
Buy a RAV4 with special financing as low as 3.99%. Or pick a spacious Highlander with as low as 3.49% on select models. Toyota, let's go places.
Gonna bring some energy.
Out he goes, the run. Play by the rookie. He is one of the angriest runners in all of football. Ron Allen for a sack. For John Dotson, 101. Made it again. Hit from Jason Pitter. Spin to the 10. He's going in.
Dude. Fire. Grill master, huh?
Burgers, better with Pepsi.
Welcome back. It is Command Center Postgame Live. Santana Moss, the Cowboy Killer. I'm Michael Jenkins. So a 17-15 victory for Washington.
Yeah.
It was close there at the end. I don't think anybody wanted to see this game go to overtime because of the delay. But when you look back at this game, Tana, what are you going to take away from it?
What I take away from it, it's great to see how those guys played with all the circumstances that happened, you know, early in the game against someone different. You know, it's the preseason. We expect them to go out there and get their feet wet. They did a little more than that, and I'm looking forward to the next week. But I think it was a great start, and they have a lot to build on. That's what I said. You know, one of the things about the preseason games, you want to put enough on film that we can go and correct and get better from.
Got another week coming up now as we get ready for preseason game number 2, joint practices. What are you looking for there?
Joint practices.
Yeah,
they get sticky.
Coming.
They get sticky. You know, I love going against the Ravens, though. I remember when I got here in 05, man, we had a lot of those joint practices year after year after year, and we kind of got out of there, you know, unscathed. You know, we put up some pretty good practices together with those guys, and then had the preseason game. It's always hard to practice with those guys and then see them in the preseason game, but hey, we got to do it.
Well, make sure you join us on Monday the 21st for another Game Day and Post-Game Live, and we are live streaming Monday morning from training camp. That's Santana Moss. I'm Michael Jenkins. Commanders win at 17-15. Have a great night.